1, 2, 3, 4. Mike and John got it going on. Mike and John got it going on. Mike and John got it going on. Mike and John got it going on.
Well, did they ever put you in on Saturday?
Well, they didn't.
No?
No.
You had your glove,
I was ready to go.
had the mitt, knee
The,
foot oiled up, ready to
10th
go.
Howell alumni baseball game.
Couldn't even be a sub.
Served as the announcer. And,
Give me a little sample of like our fourth hitter stepping up to the plate.
Right. Now batting, center fielder, Sparky Anderson.
What was Sparky was there? So the 10th
Yeah, it was not.
Howell alumni game this
very cool.
past weekend.
Yeah.
Also Miles for Smiles.
And that was
Juliana's wishes. That
what
was a great tournament.
Yeah, it was a great event to be out there for Miles for Smiles to benefit Juliana's wishes, and what a
Great fundraiser.
it was a great weekend.
Despite the heat.
A little hot.
Happened.
A little hot.
All right, here we go. It's
A
Monday.
picture of, like, for instance, this picture here where I'm a little sweaty.
That was the shadow.
I
That was
know.
just a shadow.
That was me. That was me outside the car for about 30 seconds. It was like
A lot of us were like
I was my own ecosystem. It was like clouds of,
Boy, you had a lot of
Yeah.
evil to get out of you that
Yeah,
day.
I did.
Yeah.
So,
I think we're all
anyway.
like that. So we had a good time on Saturday as we get into the new week. We'll take a look at last night's Sunday night trivia question and the answers. Stats show men who have one of these may be more intelligent than other men.
Mm.
We want to know what it is. I don't think anybody got the right answer, but we'll take a look at those
All right.
in just a little bit. Also coming up today, your 2-cent history lesson, and we'll talk with Daniel Brown, who's the watershed planner for the Huron River Watershed Council.
Yes, there's been a little bit of a kerfuffle
No.
in the river as of late.
Is that what you call it?
Well, actually, it's hexavalent chromium and it's highly toxic.
That's
Oops.
probably more than a kerfluffle.
Did I spill that in
A
there?
kerfluffle sounds like something you'd get at the fair.
It's true.
Yeah, I'm going to go on the zipper,
Yeah, right.
and then I'm going to get a kerfluffle.
And I'd like some whipped cream on that, please.
I don't think you can put whipped cream on this kerfluffle.
No, you don't want no.
We'll get details on that
Yeah.
coming up. But first, a look at local news brought to you by Cooper and Binkley Jewelers in downtown Brighton.
All right, here's what's going on. High school students in the Huron Valley School District will be required to leave their backpacks in their lockers in the upcoming school year. According to a notice on the district's website, the policy is being implemented to avoid hazards in classrooms and hallways and ultimately keep the schools safe. The new policy follows the shooting incident last December at Oxford Community High School, in which a student killed 4 of his classmates with a gun that he kept hidden in his backpack. The notice says principals will review the new policy with students at the beginning of the school year. It also says this only applies to high school students. There will be no changes at the elementary and middle school levels. State officials say after a review of data Friday evening and Saturday morning, the boundaries of the current no-contact recommendation for the Huron River system will remain in place until further notice. According to a release Saturday evening, experts with the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services and Michigan Department of Environment, Great Lakes, and Energy assessed all the available information, including water sampling data collected throughout the week, to make that determination. The recommendation was put in effect after the release of the toxic compound hexavalent chromium from Tribar Manufacturing in Wixom. It then discharged through the Wixom wastewater treatment facility into the Huron River. The release contained that hexavalent chromium, also known as hexchrome, a known carcinogen that can cause a number of adverse health effects. Of 69 water samples that were collected through 42 river miles during the week, 3 came back with detections of hexchrome. 2 were in Milford's Hubble Pond, 1 in the middle of Kent Lake. Until further notice, the state is recommending people and pets avoid contact with the Huron River waters between North Wixom Road in Oakland County and Kensington Road in Livingston County. And as Mike said, we'll be talking with Daniel Brown from the Huron River Watershed Council coming up here in just a few minutes. And following Stuff the Bus events over the weekend at the Howell and Fowlerville Walmarts, the 21st annual Backpacks for Kids distribution is set later this week. The goal of the project is to provide Livingston County students whose families are experiencing financial difficulties with basic school supplies at no cost. Unlike past years in which the school supply distribution was held at LESA's campus in Hull, individual distributions will take place at each of the 5 public school districts this Thursday, August 11th, from 4 till 6 p.m. You'll find additional details at mikeandjohnpodcast.com. And that's what's going on.
And news brought to you by Cooper and Binkley Jewelers in downtown Brighton. A commitment to customer service, community involvement, honesty, professionalism, and of course, exquisite merchandise. Stop by and see Mark and Barb Binkley today. They pride themselves on offering something special for everyone. They recognize customer satisfaction is the sole purpose of their business, offering a unique mix of exceptional quality jewelry and value, all in a warm, engaging environment. And of course, they've got the latest designs from Simon G. and Zagani, plus others. Stop by Cooper and Binkley Jewelers on Main Street in downtown Brighton, or you can see them online at cooperandbinkleyjewelers.com. Follow them on Facebook too, Cooper and Binkley Jewelers in downtown Brighton.
Right, and if you go on their Facebook page, they always have really cool stories of engagement stories, proposals, things like that. And so that's always very nice to see some nice stories.
Plus, they kind of preview some of the stuff that's coming to Cooper and Binkley Jewelers.
Right. I haven't seen a preview yet of my high school ring.
Not yet.
Not yet.
They're working on it.
Yeah. If they
and they have those greetings from Brighton postcards too.
Well, it's true. Yeah,
you can get your picture.
Don't forget, right?
Or they have the postcards.
You got the mural on the side there. Go take that hashtag at Greetings from Brighton, and then go inside and see if they have my high school ring for sale yet. They don't.
Because nobody wants
it. I don't even want it.
Sunday night trivia.
Yes.
Stats show men who have one of these, it's not a high school ring, may be more intelligent than other men. We wanted to know what it is. A lot of great answers.
Well, we know something that most men have that doesn't make them more intelligent, but anyway.
No, it doesn't make you any smarter. Matter of fact, it might make you dumber.
Draws blood away from the brain.
A wife was a popular guess, a smart wife. All popular and very good guesses.
Right.
Ain't that right, John?
Absolutely. Are you kidding me? I'm no dummy. Well.
A library card. Good guess. This one's really specific. A 1946 Jeep CJ2A.
Who said that?
Dawn Joshua Summers.
All right, so I think Dawn or Joshua owns that kind of a Jeep. I'm thinking,
so. Maybe Joshua answered
I'm guessing,
with
right.
that, the 1946 Jeep. A web between their index toe and their middle toe.
Really?
That's an interesting guess.
I didn't know you had an index toe. I mean, I understand. I guess.
Would be when
I've never heard it referred to as a index toe.
Yeah. If you went to a kid today and said, "Show me your index finger,"
right?
Would they know?
You mean my ring finger?
A job, a dog, a sense of humor, all great guesses, not right. A cat, a bookshelf or two full of books, a full head of hair.
Now, the books, first of all, go buy them. Are they
laden
laden with dust, number one?
Yeah.
And are they fake?
Are they Dr. Seuss?
Like, you pull them out and the whole shelf comes out at the same time. It's just a front.
A map. A high IQ. Well, wouldn't that kind of go with
that? Would
an electric car, says Mike. A birthmark. None of these are correct. If you want to know what the right guess is,
yes.
We leave you hanging.
What is the answer? I don't know. You tell me. What do you think? Let me see the answer.
You didn't peek?
No, I did not.
It's right under the date.
Yes, I see that. Oh, wow. Clearly.
You're a genius.
I'm a genius. You can't see it right now. But I am.
Or ever.
Oh, I could.
Oh, you mean that you're a genius?
Yes.
You're talking about the
I'm talking about your answer.
Okay, yeah. The answer is a hairy chest.
I could show you if you'd like. No, okay.
Private showings.
I'll spare.
Save it for the post show.
Okay, post show. No, Mike's like, I gotta go.
So a hairy chest. Yeah. That's what they say.
What about a hairy back?
If you got a hairy chest and a hairy back, the hairy back
Einstein.
Negates the hairy chest.
Oh, it does.
It negates the hairy chest.
Oh, that makes sense now. Okay.
So yeah, apparently, if you're a guy with a hairy chest, you may be more intelligent,
right,
than a guy who doesn't have a hairy chest. Now you know. So let's get back to this.
Yes, back to that.
The backpack stories.
Yes.
So apparently now the Huron Valley schools are not going to let high schoolers have backpacks in the classroom.
They can bring them to school. They got to put them in their locker.
Yeah. Isn't that where you pretty much put everything though? It's like cram it in your locker and then just grab the book.
Well, I think for us, and I didn't really have backpacks back when
in the
went to
day.
school when dinosaurs roamed the earth.
No, we didn't. I didn't see backpacks until I went to college.
Right.
Like in early
Exactly.
'82. It's at.
But
Central.
I know with my kids, and I was surprised. They would just load up. They hated their locker. I mean, not that anyone loves their locker, but I'm just saying they didn't go to their locker. They would load up their backpack, especially my youngest, and they would just carry it with them to class all day long because they're like, I don't want to go to my locker.
Oh, I like taking off.
You know,
It's kind of like home base to me. You go back to the locker. You go. Oh, yeah,
it depends on what your
lunch.
it depends on what your locker experience is.
Oh,
Now,
you do a bad locker
if you go
experience?
well, if your locker experience is basically, I am now a target. Like, we know where we can find King. He's at his locker. Let's get him.
Well, then you hang out at somebody else's locker.
Then you don't go by your locker. So it depends.
Wow, I'm sorry
But-
you had a bad locker.
But
experience.
kids, most of my locker experience was, what's this stupid
Yeah,
combination?
well,
Why would it work?
Or it gets jammed and you got a hot chick by you. Do I kick it my locker? No, what are you in a bad?
I didn't want it to open anyway.
You hit it and it opens up like Fonzie.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So in Huron Valley schools and other districts do this.
Yeah.
You know, backpacks have to stay in the locker. You can go back to your locker as many times
I
as you
gotta
want.
go back to get my chem book.
Right.
Yeah.
Now they're saying it. Now it's interesting. They're putting this out. I mean, they're not overtly saying it's related or connected to the incident in Oxford where the kid was carrying the gun in his backpack. Although I think the subtext is that's part of it.
Right.
It's also, they say, because you have 30 kids in a classroom,
You got all this
with
mess.
backpacks. If there's an incident where they have to get the hell out of there, there's a bunch of backpacks on the floor. They can impede progress. But I don't know.
You just
guess-
high step it over.
Yeah, I suppose districts got to do what they can do.
Yeah.
Because the society isn't doing anything. That's for sure. So.
Wow. Went deep there, didn't he? All right. Well, the backpack problem solved apparently. I don't know. When did they? I thought back when we were kids, really. I think backpack was more of a military thing, wasn't it? The military
Or
had
hiking.
backpack. Yeah, or hiking.
Or hiking. Yeah,
That's
like
when you
my
had a
backpack would experience would have been with Boy Scouts.
I don't even think I had a backpack for Boy Scouts, but
I mean, that was the only backpack I ever had.
When you went to the
it had
jamboree.
it had a metal frame, and you put your tent
Oh,
in
now
there.
you're talking. Yeah,
I mean,
that was
a
serious hiking.
that was serious,
Yeah.
But that was a backpack
oh,
in my
these
mind.
kids today have these sissy
Yeah.
backpacks.
Right.
They're soft
He's soft,
and they're
kids.
clear, so you can see what's in the backpack.
Well, right now the other thing.
How
is
could
that
you hide
it's
your booze?
Clear. Okay, you're bringing booze to high school. This explains a lot.
I don't have a hairy chest.
Probably because you're drinking booze in high school.
So anyway,
I mean, because I never consumed any alcohol when I was in high school because that would have been wrong and illegal.
that's true.
I clearly followed all
Neither
the
did
laws. I followed all the laws.
Did you? Okay.
Oh, here's where you go. Thank God there was no social media. Thank you.
All right, let's take a look at this date in history. A 2-cent history lesson for this August 8th. Today is Happiness Happens Day.
Okay.
It just happens. You need some happiness, it'll just happen.
How'd that
I
happen?
need a little bit of
How'd
happiness.
that happen?
Oh, it was just Happiness Happens Day. It's also International Cat Day.
No domestic cats.
No, International Cat Day.
International cat.
Like Felix.
A Siamese cat or...
Oh, you went to the Siamese cat.
Is that... Can I say that anymore?
Siamese
Is,
cat?
is
Well,
that
that's a
phrase
bro-
now outdated? Is that no longer
that's an
acceptable?
okay cat, I
Okay,
think.
I didn't know.
You know, because the cats, there's all kinds of different breeds.
Right, I just
So
didn't know.
Siamese cats are a breed, right? You're the hairy chested one.
They,
Look
they
that
are.
up.
Yeah, of course they are. I'm just saying I don't know if the term Siamese cat is allowed anymore.
You want me to
if
look
that's
that up
considered,
for you?
It's got a negative
How do you spell Siamese?
Siames.
Oh, it's A-M. Okay.
Yeah.
Siamese.
Yeah, okay,
Siamese
stop it.
cat.
Yes.
Let's look that up while we're... It's a Monday. Huh?
You've tuned into two dopes looking up
I
Siamese cat.
wouldn't want a
Yeah,
Siamese
okay, still,
cat. They're
yeah.
scary.
They do look a little.
Yeah.
They have
They're
that look.
sinister.
But some people, love them, and that's fine.
They're part of International Cat Day. It's National Frozen Custard Day. Oh, that sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah.
If
It's
I must,
custard time.
the toasted almond.
It's also sneak some zucchini onto your neighbor's porch day or night. You can put that zucchini on the porch at night if you like.
Keep your damn zucchini off my porch.
And keep it out of my
All right.
car. I
That's
don't
it.
want your zucchini.
Keep it away.
If I wanted zucchini, I'd go buy zucchini.
I can buy it at the store. I don't want your zucchini.
Zucchini's fun to say.
You know,
though,
if you're
isn't
gonna,
it?
I mean, look. Well, is it though?
Zucchini.
Okay. Are we allowed to say zucchini? Let's look up
I don't
zucchini
know.
now. Z-U-C-C.
It's a double A, a double C. Zucchini.
Yeah.
It's like a bikini, but
Look,
not.
if you're gonna give me any kind of vegetables, I don't want zucchini.
What do you want? Corn? 'Cause
Give me
it's
give me
the-
some corn. Give me
Corn
some
on the cob,
maybe some
sweet corn.
tomatoes.
You want some tomatoes?
Yeah.
They say
But I don't want your stupid zucchini. Who eats zucchini? Nobody wants zucchini. Get it out of here. You want to know why you got extra zucchini? Because you don't even want it.
Why are you growing
So
zucchini?
keep it the hell off my
Oh my
porch
God,
and get
the
it out of
Sim-
my car.
The Siamese cat page just came up and they're all staring at me. All right. We'll get to the rest of the history lesson.
Okay, we're going
just
to take
a
a
bit.
break here on the history lesson. Or you put a pin in that. The zucchini rant. All right, let me write that in. Zucchini rant.
The zucchini rant
Right.
interrupted.
Got it.
It's time to call Daniel Brown.
Yes, it is.
And Daniel Brown is from the Huron River Watershed Council.
Yeah, he's a watershed planner.
Hello, Daniel Brown.
Good morning, Daniel. It's Mike and John from Mike and John Got It Going On. How you doing today?
Good, how are you?
Good. So a little bit of news concerning the water conditions these days.
Yeah, so we had hexavalent chromium spill from Tribar Manufacturing up in Wixom, which
Right.
discharges through the Wixom wastewater treatment plant to the Huron River system.
So let me ask you this: this is not the first time this has happened with Tribar. So how often has this happened with them?
Yeah, so they were responsible for the PFAS release that was discovered in 2018, which resulted in that do not eat fish advisory, which still affects pretty much the entire Huron River.
And don't eat the foam either.
Yeah.
That's right, and PFAS concentrates in foam, so if you see foam on the river, you want to avoid that as well.
And right, and so that do not eat fish advisory and the foam advisory, those are still in effect, correct?
They are still in effect.
Yeah.
PFAS is what they call a forever chemical. It really doesn't break down in the environment readily, so it'll be with us for the foreseeable future.
Right. So we have this company, which responsible for the PFAS release and this do not eat fish advisory that's been in effect for 4 years now. Now we have this hex chrome release, and we're beginning to see some of the water sampling done Friday and Saturday. It began to show up, I think, in like Hubble Pond and Kensington Lake, right?
Kent Lake.
Yeah, that's right.
Or Kent Lake, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, so Hubble Pond was sort of the first place we really expected to see it due to the presence of the Hubble Dam, which is right there. And then Kent Lake, it's the big impoundment that Kensington Metro Park surrounds. And those were kind of the two places we were really concerned initially that we would find it, and it looks like they found it in both of those places. I do want to say that they did find it at pretty low levels, and they did 69 samples, I believe, and 3 came back positive. So overall, I think that those tests are pretty encouraging at this point, but there's still a lot more that needs to be done to understand the extent of pollution.
What does this do for swimmers? Like at Kent Lake, you're not supposed to swim. How does that affect? How would that affect one who was swimming in contaminated water like that?
Yeah, so at the levels we're talking about here, we're talking about potentially a nasty skin rash. Can irritate your eyes, can irritate your nose. It's that type of effect that we would see from direct contamination. Then some sensitive people might have a more adverse reaction than that.
Well, and I guess, and again, I don't want to take the spotlight off Tribar because I think the spotlight needs to stay on Tribar because these are not, the PFAS and this hex chrome release, these are not the only things. They've had some other issues, air quality issues and other things that they have been tagged with. And so hexavalent chromium it's used in plastic finishing, but it's been banned in Europe. Most companies don't use it in the U.S. because there's a alternative called trivalent chromium, correct?
Yeah, that's right. So hexavalent chromium is nasty stuff. It's the Aaron Brockovich chemical. Tribar was actually using PFAS, as I understand it, to protect workers from inhaling hexavalent chromium. So they basically coat the giant tubs of the stuff, of the hexavalent chromium, with PFAS to prevent inhalation for the workers.
Great.
So it's pretty nasty stuff. There is a less toxic alternative in trivalent chromium, which is one of the things that hexavalent chromium will break down into if given enough time in the environment. But this is one of those, another example of a chemical that we're using to make things for convenience or aesthetic purposes. In this case, we're using hexavalent chromium to make shiny car parts, and it really should make us think about, what do we want. How do we prioritize what chemicals we're using and what we're putting into the environment? So we really need to look at essential versus non-essential uses of these chemicals, and should non-essential uses be banned? In many cases, I think these non-essential uses are simply just not worth the risk and the harm that they're doing to the environment.
Well, give us an example of the car parts that this is being used to make.
Yeah, so as I understand it, it's could be anything that's sort of the shiny chrome plastic finish. So badges for the brand logos that are sort of that shiny silver. Chrome bumper trims, that sort of thing. A lot of stuff that can also be painted or can be swapped out for a black part.
Right.
In many cases, yeah.
So you bring up an excellent point. I guess I'm trying to focus on Tribar and their very poor environmental record. But you bring up an excellent point about the user end, us, the public,
the consumer. I mean, if I've got chrome wheels on my car, is that, for example, what we're looking at here as far as consumer products, stuff like that?
Yeah, it's that kind of thing. And if we're talking about PFAS, it's things like waterproof clothing. They put it in food wrappers, and I do want to be clear when we're talking about the consumer end, that shouldn't be the responsibility of the consumer. You can drive yourself nuts trying to think about all the different ways that PFAS or hexchrome might be used in the products that you're using and buying. It really has to be the responsibility of the federal and state government, and then also the manufacturers that are putting these things together. They're the ones that really need to be responsible stewards of the environment and consider what we're using, how we're using, what the importance of that use is.
Well, we have two agencies here in Michigan that are directly responsible for the Department of Health and Human Services, but more importantly, the Department of Environment, Great Lakes, and Energy, or EGLE. These regulatory schemes that are supposed to basically monitor companies like Tribar, make sure that they're not, doing things like this. What grade would you give? If you were to give them a grade, what grade would you give EGLE in terms of its regulatory ability in this type of situation?
Yeah, so in this particular case, they've done quite well. They've been communicating with us throughout. HHS, same story. They've been doing things by the book. They've been tracking things down. So as far as we know, they've done everything.
But that's after the fact. I guess I'm talking about before the fact in terms of prevention.
Yeah, so that's a really interesting question, and what I would say is that Michigan's pollution laws are quite weak. So, the state agencies are working with the tools that are given to them by the state legislature and by extension voters. And since the 1990s, our pollution laws have been really chipped away at. They've been eroded. They're far weaker than the strong pollution laws we had back in the 1990s. Our pollution laws used to be the envy of the country.
Right.
And now we're left with sort of this, this weakened amalgamation of things that basically allow polluters to just delay. They run out the clock, And at the end of it, they might settle a lawsuit or get hit with a penalty, but they've still shifted so much more of the burden to taxpayers and the state agencies that it's actually preferable for them to do that. So it's just we have a very weak system. We have Eagle and the state agencies are working with very weak laws. So we need our lawmakers to write stronger laws, and as voters, we need to put the right lawmakers in place.
So do you think that when you mention pollution, I think a lot of us think of air pollution more so than water pollution, especially and being the Great Lakes state, you would think we would have more of a mindset as to what we're talking about here, polluting the water. What steps can be taken as far as lawmakers? What do you recommend?
Yeah, so the most direct thing that we need in terms of water quality is we need to reinstitute what we call polluter pay. So you'll hear a lot of politicians talking about polluter pay laws, which is what we used to have. And that basically puts, really strict, straightforward liability for pollution on polluters. Very similar to, if you buy a home or you own property and there's pollution found on that property that's, got to be coming from your house, you're going to be responsible for it. And the same type of law does not apply to corporate business entities. It's gotten, mangled over time. So we really need to reinstitute just that straightforward level of protection. So that, from a lawmaking standpoint, that's the clearest thing we need at this point. And to get that done, we're just going to need legislators, elected officials that are willing to do that.
Do you think with the with the PFAS thing from 2018, which has been ongoing, I think prior to 2018, who the hell ever heard of PFAS? Nobody. I hadn't. I suspect very few people had. And now it's become part of the regular lexicon of things we talk about. Now Hexavalent Chromium, here this is now. This has generated quite a lot of anger. And I guess, do you suspect that there maybe is a shift in the public? Because as you said, the legislature is ultimately responsible for changing this. The legislature isn't going to move unless they feel the citizens saying, you got to move on this.
Yeah, well, I certainly hope so. I think what we learned from PFAS, and to the state of Michigan's credit, they have done just an absolutely world-class job at monitoring and sampling for PFAS across the state. And what that's shown us is really just how widespread the PFAS contamination is. They're finding it, more or less anywhere that they would expect to find it. So that's really, I think, just shined a black light on our laws, on our regulatory weaknesses. So we've learned a lot of lessons from the PFAS crisis. And in this case, because Tribar was exactly the same entity that released PFAS, released the Hex Chromium, many of the lessons we learned from PFAS in the Huron River watershed are directly applicable to the Hex Chrome spill. But I think it has really brought to light this issue of non-essential use. Like, we're using lots of toxic chemicals simply so that companies can make a quick buck, and the repercussions to the environment are, in many cases, pretty severe and last for generations to come. So I do think that there has been a reckoning of priorities and what kind of state we want to live in. Do we want to live in the Great Lakes state, or do we want to live in a state that is prioritizing the use of these toxic chemicals?
Exactly. I guess, we'll have to wait and see. But as you said, there's been these low detections in some of the preliminary tests. But the modeling shows, look, the river flows down towards Ann Arbor, and Ann Arbor gets its drinking water, a large part of it, from the Huron River.
Yeah, that's right. Ann Arbor gets about 85% of its drinking water from the Huron directly, and they get the other 15% from wells. And we learned a few things over the last couple days over the weekend. Ann Arbor early on they thought they might have some defenses in place due to the upgrades they did for PFAS a few years ago. Looks like those aren't going to work against hexavalent chromium, though they might work against trivalent chromium. But their water supply is vulnerable. They're going to have to switch over potentially to wells if the plume gets that far. But we also did learn some pretty encouraging news about how the plume is moving, how it was handled initially. And that certainly puts us on the more optimistic side of, I think, what we're looking at for the next few months. We could find more data, coming days that completely reverses that, but so far we've got our fingers crossed, and it looks like maybe the Wixom wastewater treatment plant was able to catch most of the worst of it, which would be extraordinarily good news. But we're going to keep tracking the plume as it moves downriver, just to make sure that everybody stays safe.
So now back to Tri-Bar. What should happen to Tri-Bar? I mean, they have this, what seems to me to be a pretty horrible track record. How does that get handled?
Yeah, I mean, our opinion is that Tri-Bar should be shut down. They've repeatedly demonstrated negligence to the environment, to their neighbors. Certainly if you had somebody, a neighbor in your neighborhood acting this badly with such disregard for people around them, there'd be repercussions.
Yeah. I've known homeowners associations that have been more proactive.
Exactly. Exactly. So I mean, they really have demonstrated just a lack of responsibility.
So who's that on to enforce something against them? Is that the state? Is that the city of Wixom or the county?
Yeah, it's
or all of the above.
Most directly and most immediately, it's the city of Wixom, and they already issued a cease and desist order for the specific plant. So right now, that specific plant is shut down. That is
right.
A temporary shutdown. There are things that they could do that they would force the city to relax that if they wanted to.
And there's a criminal investigation underway too. I understand that they're looking into exactly what caused the spill and if there's negligence involved.
Yeah, that is my basic understanding, and I don't know too much more about that. The state has been pretty tight-lipped around that for obvious reasons.
Right.
So basically, they could keep doing what they're doing if they can rectify the problems where they have spills. Is that correct?
In other words, right. They, in the past, they've been able to sort of work their way around these things and get back into business. What are the chances that that's going to happen here?
Yeah, it's a possibility here this time as well, unless really strong enforcement action is brought down. And that, again, it just speaks to the weakness of our pollution laws.
Right.
Polluters can pollute, demonstrate that, oh yes, we fixed this problem, back to work as usual.
Right.
And then they do it again, and they go through the whole process again. At some point, you would hope that the powers that be start taking notice and start taking more direct action, more direct legal action.
Well, I know
that's what we hope the case is here.
Right. Now, you're a watershed planner with the Huron River Watershed Council, which is a nonprofit organization. Just real quickly before I let you go, explain what the Watershed Council does, and you're a good clearinghouse of information. I know that people can come there and get a lot of details and information.
Yeah, thanks for asking that. Huron River Watershed Council is a nonprofit organization. Our mission is to protect and restore the Huron River. We're quasi-governmental, which means our board is made up of representatives from our constituent communities that are in the watershed. And our work basically entails things, monitoring river water quality, ecological quality, and we do that through a variety of volunteer programs. And we provide technical support to the communities when they need us to.
All right. And again, it's hrwc.org, correct?
That's correct. And we are updating our page on Hexavalent Chromium with more information as we learn it. So if you need more information, you're looking for the latest updates, you can go to hrwc.org to find out some of that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I've been using it as a resource. That page is a great clearinghouse of information and details. So.
We appreciated this morning a lot of information, a lot of things I'm sure soon to come. So we'll keep our eye on the story, and who knows, we may be back in contact with you sooner than we think. We hope not. No offense, but yeah, I mean this.
Well, maybe for some good news or just for an update on the situation. We appreciate your time.
Yeah. Thank you both for having me.
All right, Daniel. Have a great day. Thanks.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Interesting stuff. We stuff we don't think of until
No,
it comes
I
into
think-
effect.
yeah,
as
I
far
think
as the
it's-
waters go, and you can't do the things you want to do in the lakes and
Well,
and
it's
water supply.
You
too.
think about it. I mean, especially Livingston County. You know, we tend to, the beautiful rural setting that we have, and all these wonderful recreational lakes, the chain of lakes, and Lake Chemung, and all these things. And what a great quality of life there is. And then you're like, oh, by the way, you can't eat the fish. And by the way, keep your dogs out of the foam. And by the way, just get the hell out of the water, or you're going to get a rash. I mean, at a certain point, you're like, what are we doing? I mean, there's got to be some balance here. So.
Yeah, we like to do stuff in our lakes, a lot of recreation.
That's what I'm saying.
We still got time for the rest of summer. Too,
At a certain point, you got to look up and go, okay, wait, what's going on here? And honestly, before 2018, I'd never heard of PFAS. Or PFAS, whatever the hell it's called. And
plus, they spell it funny.
Well,
PFAS.
Yeah, and it's the perfluoroalkyl substances. Perfluoroalkyl substances.
Easy for you to say.
Yeah. Anyway. And the thing is once that came out, you're like, what is this? And they start explaining it, and you're like, okay. And they're like, by the way, it's in everything.
That's exactly
and we've been
it.
using it forever. And you're like, oh. Then you kind of go, well, what are we using now that we don't know about? And then in 10 years from now, oh, by the way, you're all poisoned. You're like, oh, okay, thanks. So.
Oh, that's a great way to start off the
Yeah.
week.
Good,
We're all doomed.
good day.
All right, let's get back to
Yes.
our 2 cent history lesson.
Back to the
it.
important stuff.
August 8th on
Like
this day.
zucchinis. People putting zucchinis in your
Neighbor's
porch.
porch.
All right.
1876, Thomas Edison, little Tommy E, patented the mimeograph. The mimeograph.
Here's a picture of me in 7th grade.
He's taking his backpack over to the mimeograph.
That's right.
I'll make the
this
copies.
explains a lot. Okay.
Well, it had that purplish ink too.
Right.
What color was that? I mean,
And it's not an exaggeration to say they would pass those out. The entire class,
everybody would
pretty
smell
much
their
in
paper.
unison, would take it and go.
yeah, we weren't in. It was probably some chemical.
It's probably hexavalent chromium. What the hell are we doing?
The first household refrigerator was patented on this day in 1899. A.T. Marshall of Brockton, Massachusetts.
He was the guy.
A.T. Marshall. Thank you, A.T. 1969, the photo session for the cover of the Beatles' Abbey Road took place. Crossing
Iconic.
outside Abbey Road Studios.
Iconic photo.
6 shots were taken,
Photos.
and it was over in less than 10 minutes.
Yeah.
They might have done shots too.
Well,
The photos, 6 photos.
Paul was barefoot.
Yeah. It's like,
People said-
Paul, did you forget your shoes?
People say, "Oh, that's part that shows that Paul's dead because it's a custom that you don't. Dead people are buried without their shoes in Norway."
What?
Yeah. Yep, that means he's dead. You got it. Or he took his shoes off. Here's an alternate theory.
Left him in the studio.
Right.
Maybe that day he got up and had 2 different shoes and didn't want to be embarrassed.
You know
when it
what?
was the photo shoot.
He
Maybe
said-
he had a brown shoe.
He
and a
looked
black
at. He had
shoe.
an old brown shoe.
Yeah.
Looked at. He said, "Hey, this old brown shoe.
I got an
Wait a
old
minute,
brown shoe.
That's a song. Hold on."
The world's largest kite was flown on this day in 1981, measured about 6,000 square feet. Can you imagine holding on to that
Damn,
thing?
that's a big kite. I could never fly kites.
If you got it up in the air
Yeah.
and got a good wind, chances are you either ran out of kite twine
Right.
or it snapped and you got to go chase the thing.
Or
Why did
you'd
we
be
chase
trying
the
to
kite?
control it, and then the wind would catch it, and then you could never
Oh,
get it out of the death spiral.
Tailspin? Yeah.
And you're like,
Now, did you put a tail on the kite?
Yeah. But it was, I could just never. I tried flying kites a couple
probably
times, and
had
I'm like,
PFAS.
this is stupid. I got video games to play.
Go fly a kite, they said.
That's right.
1996, Kiss appeared at the Riverfront Coliseum in Cincinnati, Ohio. It's their 192nd date, a live world tour, and during this show,
Right.
a fan threw his fake leg up on stage. The band autographed it and threw it back to
Well,
him.
sure.
How cool would that be?
What else do you do as a band when a fake leg comes up on stage?
Sure.
Of all the things you can do, you're like, you know what? Let's sign it.
Give it to the drummer. All right. 2008, former Democratic vice presidential nominee John Edwards
Oh, Johnny Edwards.
admitted to having an extramarital affair. Who heard of that in politics? 2008.
He didn't just have an affair.
What was her name again?
Riley Hunter.
Riley Hunter.
He had a child with
You gotta
said,
cover that up.
yeah, which he was raising on the side. I'm like, you.
Why hasn't that been a Lifetime
And I just
movie?
wonder, I'm like, you really think you're gonna? What are you doing? What is wrong with you?
Yeah.
But look at my hair. I have perfect hair. I know, but
Yeah,
you're an idiot.
But you've got that going.
But my hair, yeah, I
But
know.
see, back in 2008, maybe people cared if a candidate for a high office
Whereas
had
maybe
affairs.
8 years later,
They didn't care.
you could go grab things, and apparently that didn't matter anymore. That's just locker room talk. That's what he should have said. That's what he should have said. Oh yeah, me having an affair, cheating on my wife,
high school cheerleader,
and having that's just locker room talk. But you had a child. Well, it's just locker room childing.
Don't be a football player.
That's just locker rooms.
And finally, on this day in 2019, thousands of Beatles fans made a pilgrimage to London's Abbey Road.
Oh, wait a minute.
Why did they do that?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Well, it was the 50th anniversary of that walk. Many probably tried to reenact the walk.
Well, yeah, you
had to do. If you're going there, would you not?
How many went?
It was 2019. 50 years later, thousands.
So you have to have if everyone's going to redo you have to have
you got to have.
You mentioned the backup there. You got to have a crossing guard. All right, next 4, get up.
They should have charged.
Do your walk. You get one time across. That's it.
It's like a ride at Cedar Point. Reenact the Abbey Road crossing.
They really should make a ride out of it. You're right.
Line up. I got a speed pass.
The Abbey Road ride.
Yeah. The walk.
Yeah.
Well, you walked all the way over here. You stood in line.
You know what it is?
Now you got to walk again.
Here's how I envision what the ride will be. They'll have a car, like a
It should be a trolley. One of those buses. A double.
You can sit because people are lazy, and you don't have to actually walk across the road. You get in the car on one side, you sit, but on the side of the car it has the picture of I'm sitting in the John seat.
Okay,
so it'll just show your head and shoulders, right? And then there's the body underneath, and then the car will just cross the street. Vroom.
There it was.
Oh, and they take a picture. Then they charge you $49.99.
Or wait a minute,
to get a copy.
Perhaps they have the cutouts on the road without the head, and you put your head in there.
Oh, that's actually
kind of like they do with other things.
I was trying to go more high tech, but you're right. That's
go low tech.
Yeah,
you just stand behind and get your picture. Look, I'm John in this.
Meanwhile, there's a guy on the road going, "Get the hell out of the road! I gotta get to work."
They don't talk that way in England.
No, they don't.
Get the hell out of the road, mate. Yeah. All right, that's your 2-cent history lesson for today. Did we learn anything?
Yeah, we learned a lot.
Yeah, I think we did learn. Well, probably before the history lesson. We learned that Siamese cats do exist.
Because that was a doubt, apparently. Yeah, so.
And there are people that own them.
Well,
I'm not sure if our friends at Firehouse Doors own a Siamese cat.
They do not.
But if you had a Siamese cat and you were worried about it sneaking out the garage door, they've got you covered because they've got those safety spotters.
They do the best. Of course, Firehouse Doors, serving Livingston County residents for 24 years, family-owned. They strive to treat each customer like family. They are proud veteran-owned, Mike, a proud U.S. Air Force veteran, and Firehouse Doors, your one-stop shop for residential, commercial, and rolling steel overhead door needs. And for the past 21 years, they're your only authorized distributor in Livingston County for CHI overhead doors. Give them a call today, Firehouse Doors, 810-599-7480.
Don't forget, Wednesday we'll be drawing a winner.
No, we won't.
No, we're not.
So, yeah, if you noticed.
I forgot. It's crossed out. We'll be drawing a winner of our winner from trivia on Wednesday.
Yeah, we will.
For Murphy's Family Auto.
Yeah, remember them?
Yeah, sure, car knows.
That's right.
$50 gift certificate. So Tuesday night trivia.
Yeah.
We'll find out who the winner is.
And then we'll draw that
on Wednesday.
On Wednesday.
That's what I meant to say.
Drawing it out.
I messed up something on a Monday.
No, you'd never do that.
No.
Oh, don't worry.
Don't say
I'll
that.
do all kinds of fancy editing after the fact.
Sure.
I won't do any editing.
No, because that would not be right.
No, because we record live.
We do.
We want you to get the live feel.
And we're sorry for that.
We don't want to be too overproduced. People are like, wow, this program is so slick.
Some people might say that's a deep fake.
Oh my God.
We can't have deep
Look at that
fakes here.
studio they're in.
Wow. Don't try and recreate.
Yo, don't. No.
Hell no.
Oh my God, are you kidding me?
There's one of a kind right
Yes,
there.
it is. So do you think the sign is straight?
Yeah, we had to rehang the sign. Yeah, before the show. I think it looks better than it did before.
I think it does, yeah.
Now I don't have to sit on an angle.
No.
just to balance the sign
Right.
out.
So things are great.
All right.
Murphy's Family Auto, they are open Saturdays 8 to 1. Tell them Mike and John sent you. You'll save 5% off your bill. Murphy's Family Auto, your car knows. Murphy'sFamilyAuto.com.
And again, we'll give you a chance to win that $50 gift certificate Wednesday morning in Tuesday night trivia.
Right.
If that doesn't confuse you.
Oh.
A Siamese cat might.
Well, you know how they
All
are.
right. So that's our Monday. We'll be back on Tuesday. Uncle Bill joining us for
Yes.
School of the Fools. John has a streak going. They call him Streaker John.
Yeah, no one wants. Oh, I forgot. I got to show you my back hair in the post show.
I gotta go.
Yeah.
I won't be here for the post show because that's scary stuff.
Because you're getting the hell out of here.
Yeah.
I don't blame you.
Do you blame me? Heck no.
I got a post show.
Mike and John got it going on. You've been giggling with Mike and John. Tune in next time and giggle on.
Oh, yeah.
That's my favorite part there.
Okay, post show.
What do you got?
I'll tell you what I got. I got me a cougar pick. That's what I got.
Yeah, when Susan was here
Yeah.
last Monday, apparently she left the pick.
Well, yeah.
Was that intentional, do you think?
You know what it is? It's, you know how chicks are. They leave something behind, so they have to come back and get it.
It's kind of like when you go to a restaurant and you leave a little bit on the plate for the chef to let them know they did a good job.
No. I'm thinking this is...
I see.
yeah.
Oh,
I left this at your
do you
studio.
mind if I come back?
I better come back and get it.
I don't think.
You know how. The women always do.
Insert wishful
Yeah,
thinking
this
right
where
now.
Cougar's like, you can keep the pick.
Yeah, that was 10 cents. I've
It's
got a
all
bag
yours.
I got a bag
Just-
for $1.
Yeah, I don't want to know what
Yeah.
you do with it. You
No.
just keep it.
What other things can you do with a guitar pick?
Well, you pick your teeth. I'm not going to do that.
No, you shouldn't.
I mean,
I don't know. You could do the scratch test for a shave. Remember they used to do that with the card, credit card? Yeah. Now try the edge side.
well, I was trying to get.
Oh.
You mean the pick side?
No. One side edge, one was the other, you know.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah. All right.
That was what you had for post show.
I had a pick. Put the cougar pick right here.
All right, so here's something for you to think about.
Okay.
Over at U of M, they did a study of different foods and what they can do to your lifespan.
And?
The good and the bad.
Yes.
Do you want to know the bad first or the good first?
I don't know what
All
I
right.
want to know. I don't know what I want to know.
So, here's what they found. They tested 6,000 various meals, snacks, and drinks.
Okay.
A few of the more popular foods and what they can do to you. The worst foods per portion. One hot dog will take 36 minutes off your life. Good luck, Joey Chestnut.
One hot dog, 36 minutes.
Yep.
So, trying to estimate how many hot dogs I've had.
Bacon, 26 minutes.
Why am I even alive
It
now?
doesn't say.
What am I doing even being alive at this point?
It doesn't say how much bacon. If it's one strip, you know.
It doesn't matter. So 3 strips of bacon, that's an hour less of life. Right?
Yeah, pretty much. A little over an hour, yeah.
So
It's worth it.
How am I
So,
even alive
I don't know.
at this point? Between
Double-
the hot dogs and bacon, there's more?
A double cheeseburger, 8.8 minutes.
Okay.
Slice of pizza, 7.8 minutes. And soft drinks, fizzy or sweetened, 12.4 minutes off your life. However, you can contradict that. There's a way for everything, isn't there? For example, foods that are better, a peanut butter and jelly sandwich will add 33 minutes to your life. So if I had 3 a day, that adds an extra hour and a
No,
half.
what if I put the bacon in the peanut butter and jelly sandwich?
Well, then it kind of
The-
probably
the-
averages
just-
to about 7
that's
minutes.
what I'm
You're
saying,
on 7
yeah.
minutes on the plus side.
Yeah, right.
Right?
Right.
Baked salmon, 13.5 minutes.
PB check.
Unless it's from the Huron River. I don't think the salmon are running there, but just in case
Well, just-
one got loose. A banana, 13 and a half minutes. Tomatoes and avocados will add to your life. Tomatoes, 3.8 minutes. An avocado, 1.5. French fries will actually add a minute and
No, they won't.
1.5 minutes to your life.
Well, then no
I'm just
wonder.
eating-
Okay, no
if
wonder
you
I'm
dip it in
alive.
ketchup because that's part tomato.
Oh,
that could
yeah,
add even more.
okay.
And then it said, what if you ate a peanut butter and jelly sandwich right after eating a hot dog?
Well, first of all, you're gonna get sick. That's gross.
Probably.
Probably.
Yeah, that's just different.
Good. Need
All the
some
nitrates
Pepto.
in that weenie, but
Yeah.
yeah. Hot dog. This is the odd thing about hot dogs. It's like they're one of the worst foods for you, yet we love to eat
Oh, we love them. I mean, I don't want to know.
Yeah.
So these days, how we make a hot dog. Turn that off. I don't want to know.
Exactly.
No, I don't want to know. Here's how we make a brat. I don't want to know.
And is bologna
Yeah.
a flat hot dog?
I don't think. Well, it might as well be, but. And then
Pickle
there's pickle loaf.
Is that bologna with like olives in it?
Yeah,
Is that
yeah,
what that is?
yeah.
No thanks.
Yeah.
That'll kill you.
That will. Yeah, how many minutes off your life is that going to take?
You might as well just say, well,
one slice of pickle loaf
I want
is
to end this now.
43 days off your life. I knew it. I want to end it now. Oh my God! He's got a piece of pickle loaf. He's going to do it. Don't eat it, sir. See this police cars and fire trucks surrounding a guy with a piece of pickle loaf. I'm going to eat it. I swear to God. Don't
you
do
don't
it.
stop doing that, I'm going to make you eat the pickle loaf. All right.
That's plenty.
Is that enough?
Yeah. God. Let's make it
Go ahead. You can turn this
Like,
off.
damn right I will. I turn everyone off.